Hey guys, welcome to Fleetyards Reviews. I would tell you who I am, but this is spoiler free, so you're going to have to be in the dark.
Yes, I just don't have clearance to know what we're doing.
That's right. Anyway, I'm Captain Foley.
I'm
and today we're talking about the very first episode of the Orville, called Old Wounds. That's it. So yes, this is going to be a spoiler free review. Just kind of give you our general thoughts on things, and then if you want, after you watch the episode or before, it doesn't matter, tune into our full spoiler review, where we're going to talk about it in much more detail.
I'm sure we have a lot of thoughts, and that review, that longer review, is going to be the place to go. But guys, hope you enjoyed this new intro we had. We're going strong with Orville here. So Stuart, you watched it last night. I watched it this morning because of time zones. Okay, what was your thoughts? Non-spoiler thoughts.
Non-spoiler thoughts is I really enjoyed it. It's exactly what I anticipated it would be. A nice mix of fun adventure and comedy with sci-fi. And I think it hit the mark exactly what I expected, because I am a Seth MacFarlane fan. I do enjoy his humor, and it had just the right smattering of it without being too much. And overall, I thought it was a great episode and great fun. So, your thoughts?
Yeah. Obviously, you can't not be influenced by the reviews. I mean, it was getting a lot of negative reviews, but that seems so inconsistent with what the show could be. And so I was saying, okay, fine, see what it is. And so I started watching this morning, and it's like, this is fun. I was finding myself laughing at most of the jokes. And some people saying they went flat, but I agree, I like his humour. And it was fun. It was a good ride. It was a simple story, but it's a pilot. It's a first episode. You know, you're allowed to be, you're allowed to start slow. But for what it was a great setup, and it has a lot of potential.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really enjoyed it.
The one thing that I walked away from the first viewing, though, thinking was it didn't seem like an hour-long show. I don't know if it's just because it was Seth MacFarlane, and it felt like a half-hour show that I just watched. It didn't feel like a full hour, like a full episode of something like Star Trek, for example. The
pace was a bit weird.
Yeah.
I will say that. It was a bit... The whole thing was quite flat feeling. But then again, like the first 27 minutes were character build-up. So episode 2, without any of that needed... then it can start momentum, then it can start where it's going. Because this show can go anywhere. That's the point. This was building up the universe and the characters in the show. And my great takeaway from this is that I really enjoyed it, but it wasn't the best show. But the fact that I enjoyed it so much for a new IP, brand new writing, brand new cast, and I'm already invested and I already care what's happening, because it hit that tone of what I wanted it so much. It wasn't the best episode of TV, but for fresh everything, it was like, that was great. Like, you know what I mean? It was a great first step.
Yeah, I totally mirror those thoughts. I really enjoyed the overall look of the show, like the cleanness of the interiors. The sets are fantastic. The
big as well.
Some of the space shots are fantastic. Like the one of the moon through the rings.
I was going to highlight that.
I think everybody's been commenting on that. Even Sylvia, when I was watching it at the time, looked over at me and goes, "That's a great shot." And I'm like, "That's exactly what I was thinking." So I'm really impressed with the work they've done on it, and it definitely met my expectations, and it kind of exceeded them in some areas as well. So I'm overall very happy with the finished product.
What I'm most excited about, I think, is that we've had a lot of sci-fi dramas, like I said, mentioned Star Trek, Stargate, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, Firefly, Farscape, so many of that sort. And while Farscape, for example, went a bit more jokey, whatever, you could never have the jokes that they had in this episode.
Yeah.
Or the commentary. That's the thing I really, really piqued my interest when watching it. And you got a lot of those jokes in the trailer, but it has a lot of serious sci-fi, some just genuinely funny jokes, but also some really meta jokes, which I'm like, I write that into things if I can, to have the character be self-aware, and I love hearing those sorts of jokes, because that's just clever writing, and it's understanding, and it wasn't too forced either.
And yeah, exactly. And as I talked with Sylvia about this last night too, it's very relatable. It's very realistic with the jokes that they made, like with the dog on the couch. I'm not going to say much else, but that's exactly what I think somebody in real life, even in Star Trek, would say to each other once the captain left the bridge. I mean, you can't be serious all the time, and I think this show doesn't take itself too seriously. And I've read a lot of reviews that, is it trying to be a drama? Is it trying to be a comedy? It's both, but it's not taking itself too seriously, in my opinion.
But also, like I said before, this pilot was 27 minutes of character development. So obviously it couldn't go as in depth with the story. Obviously it couldn't go in depth with the characters, like all the secondary characters. But I got a nice vibe of all of them. Although I will say that I thought was one of the weaker bits. The characters weren't done too much justice. But again, you know, look at other parts of other TV shows. Not everyone, bar the hero, gets the time. You know, is it worth comparing this to? I mean, obviously the direct comparison is TNG, but like the TNG pilot, which isn't a great episode, 2 episodes.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is probably sort of on par with that, but cleverer written. I think this is a better written show at its best, but also plainly written at its worst. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. And speaking of the hero, I mean, I've heard a lot of criticism about Seth MacFarlane being able to carry a show. I totally disagree with that. I think he did a fine job. Like I said, I like Seth MacFarlane. He has been in Star Trek, guys. He was in Star Trek Enterprise a few times, actually. Yeah.
Very memorable. Save the show.
I forget his name exactly on the show, but he was part of the engineering team.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big Star Trek fan, so I think like a lot of people have criticized his humor, but a lot of people just don't like that brand of humor. They've criticized some of his work, like A Million Ways to Die in the West. I really enjoyed that movie. I don't go into it thinking it's going to win an Academy Award. That's why I think I enjoy it. And a lot of these reviewers seem to think that every movie needs to be that kind of quality.
Well, the thing is, I mean, look at a show like South Park. Some people just hate the show, but it's an objectively incredible show. Incredibly well written, incredibly good stories, but some people just hate that sort of humour. It's still a wonderful show, people just don't like it. You know, there are some, like, I don't like 2001 as much. It's still, you know, objectively an amazing film. You know, so just because you don't like the humour, that's why reviews are difficult, because it's all about personal opinion. I like the fact that we both said positive. I was wondering if you would suddenly flip and say, it wasn't as good. So I'm glad we're both on the same page about this. It's going to help. It's going to help the reviews later on. But I think with as we do with, you know, other shows and such, we're still going to call out the good and the bad, because what's the point of reviewing it if you're not going to call out the bad as well?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think our full review needs to have that as more, because we're already going quite long here. But I think we both definitely enjoyed it.
Yes.
And for a pilot, it was a damn solid first attempt, and it can only get better.
I totally agree. That's my closing thoughts. I'm just looking forward to more Orville, to be honest. So I guess that's it.
And I will double jump back on your thing about the main character. He will have time to grow as well. I mean,
Absolutely.
come on. It's not as if Picard was the most realised character in season episode 1, was it?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, they didn't really flesh him out.
Yeah, so I mean, and I thought he was well more, like, you knew who he was as a person in this one. So
yeah. Anyway, guys, so there's our spoiler-free review. If you're interested in more of our thoughts, and trust me, I got a lot of notes written down. Check out our full spoiler review, which we're going to be filming next, and it'll be out soon. So hopefully you guys enjoy this, and please leave your comments below. What do you think about the show? Did you enjoy it? Have you watched it yet? What are your expectations going into it if you haven't? Looking forward to reading all of that stuff. So, as always, we will see you guys next time. Until then, I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Connor Coggins.
Bye, guys.